Empress Taiyuan, whose real name was Liashayudi, hailed from an esteemed noble family in the prosperous region of Taiyuan. From a young age, she displayed an exceptional beauty coupled with intelligence and depth. Though merely a young noblewoman, she exhibited a serene demeanor and insight beyond her years. People in Taiyuan often said that when she appeared, even the plants seemed to bow, and the flowers would defer to her beauty. But her allure was not merely in her appearance. Nok Deep also possessed a compassionate heart, deeply caring for those less fortunate. She constantly found ways to help the needy around her, earning her the affectionate title of the Daughter of Taiyuan. Revered and cherished as if she were an angel, one spring day, during a visit to an ancient temple with her family, she encountered a man of rugged, noble bearing, standing silently before a statue of the war god. They briefly locked eyes but spoke no words. What Nok Deep didn't know was that this man was, in fact, the emperor himself, disguised to observe the lives of his people firsthand. It was their first meeting, and while neither knew each other's identity, both felt an inexplicable connection. When Nok Deep later entered the imperial court, they both realized this meeting had been destined, and their bond grew deeper when she became empress. Before long, Udieshi beauty and virtue led the emperor to appoint her as empress, with the title Empress Taiyuan. Yet within the imperial palace, power and envy constantly lurked. She became the target of schemes and jealousy from those who sought to undermine her influence, despite facing persistent threats. From food poisoning attempts to stealthy stabs in the dark, she remained calm and forgiving, striving to treat everyone with kindness. But one night, she noticed that her jade hairpin, a gift from a renowned fortune teller before she entered the palace, had turned a different color, recalling his warning, "If the pin changes color, death is near." She grew wary. Thanks to this warning, she narrowly escaped an assassin's attack, thwarting yet another attempt on her life. Through it all, Nok Deep remained devoted to her country and her emperor. However, the enmity within the palace became relentless. One of the greatest crises arose when rumors circulated that she had secretly encouraged a rebellion in a northern province. Suspicion and pressure from the court forced the emperor to order her confinement while an investigation was carried out. That night, Nok Deep sat by her window, staring at the dark sky, her heart heavy. She could scarcely believe her loyalty was under scrutiny, and her life ensnared in a web of hatred and jealousy. Then, in the dead of night, an intruder entered her quarters with murderous intent. Although she was untrained in combat, she fought back bravely, and the commotion alerted the palace guards, who apprehended the assassin. Under interrogation, he confessed to being an agent for certain powerful courtiers, scheming to bring about her downfall. It was then that the emperor finally understood the truth and was moved by her loyalty and courage. He ordered the traitors punished and restored her honor in the court. Yet Empress Taiyuan was forever changed by the ordeal. Choosing to retreat from palace intrigues, she devoted herself to charitable work and reforms. She opened schools for orphans, helped poor families, and focused on empowering women by encouraging literacy to break the chains of poverty. Among the orphans she cared for was a young boy whom she particularly cherished and taught with diligence. She treated him as her own son, instilling in him values of loyalty and justice. This boy would later grow into a famous military general of the Ming dynasty, achieving great victories and forever carrying her teaching. Protect the people as a mother protects her child. Before every battle, he would pray in her honor, dedicated to defending the realm in gratitude for her kindness. Her compassion extended even to her homeland, when, in a time of famine, rumors began to spread that Taiyuan had been cursed by a forgotten deity. Villagers believed only Empress Taiyuan could lift the curse. With the emperor's permission, she returned to Taiyuan and, on a moonless night, walked barefoot around the ancient temple, praying that she might sacrifice her blessings to bring peace and abundance to her people. From then on, the land saw bountiful harvests, rains returned, and the villagers revered her as the mother of all people. One autumn day, while traveling through a poor village, she met an elderly woman living alone in a worn-down cottage. The woman gazed into the Empress's eyes, gently touching her cheek and saying, "You have the eyes of a mother. You are the mother of this land." Deeply moved, Empress Taiyuan shed silent tears, feeling her duty to the people reaffirmed. Her kindness spread far and wide, and citizens from all over the land began to visit the palace to offer prayers and blessings for her well-being. In her later years, Empress Taiyuan's health deteriorated due to a lingering illness. The emperor, though burdened with the responsibilities of ruling, visited her daily, listening to her final wishes for the people's welfare and the country's stability. Before her passing, she left a farewell letter for her younger sister in Taiyuan, urging her to live in peace and avoid the treacherous palace life. This letter was only found decades later when her sister had grown old, and it moved her to tears, recalling her sister's care and sacrifice. One quiet autumn morning, as the leaves fell across the courtyard, Empress Taiyuan closed her eyes peacefully, passing from this world in the emperor's arms. He wept openly, unable to contain his grief. The entire court went into mourning, and the emperor wore mourning robes for 3 years, establishing a grand temple in her memory. From then on, her name became a symbol of kindness and sacrifice, cherished by the people as a legendary mother figure. For generations, people would speak of her not just as an empress but as the revered mother of all people, passing down her story from one generation to the next, forever enshrined in the hearts of her nation.